But every time a mass shooting happens, we're quick to point fingers. Everybody has their own idea about what causes someone to take innocent lives. Researchers say there isn't a single cause. So instead of focusing on the problems, it's time to talk about solutions. And one solution is to make sure guns stay out of the wrong hands. There are two bills that would do just that, but they aren't making much progress on Capitol Hill. Adam Longo and the Verify team found out why.
Politicians are making all kinds of claims after the devastating massacres that transpired over the weekend. Our Verify team exists to fact-check those questionable ones that you hear, like this one. In response to Mitch McConnell condemning the El Paso shooting, Democratic Representative Joe Cunningham said, "We sent you a bill requiring universal background checks and a bill that closes the Charleston loophole, but you refused to bring it up for a vote." So this thing has thousands of shares. So we're verifying, is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell sitting on two gun reform bills? So our researchers went to the official website for U.S. federal legislation. That's congress.gov. And yep, the House passed two bipartisan bills in February. One that would require unlicensed gun dealers run background checks, and another that would extend the background check waiting period from 3 days to 10. Now, both bills moved to the Senate and haven't been touched since early March. We also looked at the congressional record, the records of debates on the bills, and found several Republicans claim the bills would inadvertently limit or inconvenience those eligible from purchasing a gun. So we can verify, yes, there are two gun reform bills passed in the House that are waiting for any kind of action in the Senate. Listen, if you have something that you want verified, we'll take action. Reach out to me directly with those questions you want answered. I'm on Facebook and Twitter at Adam Longo TV, Instagram as well. You can also email the whole team, verify@WUSA9.com.